Jesus got back into the boat, crossed the lake again, and came to his hometown. Here, they brought a paralyzed man to him, lying on a bed. Jesus saw their faith and said to the paralytic, "Courage, my son, your sins are forgiven." Then some teachers of the law said to themselves, "This man is blaspheming." Oh." Jesus was aware of what they were thinking and said, "Why have you such evil thoughts? Which is easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or 'Stand up and walk'? To prove to you that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." He then said to the paralyzed man, "Stand up, take your bed, and go home." The man got up and went home. When the crowd saw this, they were filled with awe and praised God for giving such power to men. As Jesus moved on from there, he saw a man named Mathew at his seat in the custom house, and he said to him, "Follow me." And Matthew got up and followed him. Now it happened, while Jesus was at table in Matthew's house, many tax collectors and other sinners joined Jesus and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to the disciples, "Why is it that your masters eat with those tax collectors and sinners?" Hmm? When Jesus heard this, he said, "Healthy people do not need a physician, but sick people do. Go and find out what this means. What I want is mercy, not sacrifice. I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Then the disciples of John came to him with a question. "How is it that we and the Pharisees fast on many occasions, but not your disciples?" Jesus answered them, "How can you expect wedding guests to mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? A time will come, though, when the bridegroom will be taken away from them. Then they will fast. No one patches an old coat with a piece of unshrunken cloth, for the patch will shrink and tear an even bigger hole in the coat. Neither do you put new wine in old wineskins. If you do, the wineskins will burst, and the wine be spilt. No, you put new wine in fresh skins, then both are preserved." While Jesus was telling them these things, a Jewish official came up to him, bowed low before him, and said, "My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hands on her, and she will live." So Jesus got up and followed him with his disciples. Then a woman who had suffered from a severe bleeding for 12 years came up from behind and touched the edge of his cloak. For she said to herself, "If I only touch his cloak, I will be healed." Jesus turned, saw her, and said, "Courage, my daughter. Your faith has healed you." And from that moment, the woman was cured. When Jesus arrived at the official's house and saw the flute players and the excited crowd, he said, "Get out of here. The girl is not dead. She is only sleeping." And they laughed at him. But once the crowd had been turned out, Jesus went in and took the girl by the hand, and she stood up. The news of this spread through the whole area. As Jesus moved on from there, two blind men followed him, shouting, "Son of David, have pity on us." When he was about to enter the house, the blind man caught up with him, and Jesus said to them, "Do you believe that I am able to do what you want?" They answered, "We do, Lord." Then Jesus touched their eyes and said, "As you have believed, so let it be." And their eyes were opened. Then Jesus gave them a stern warning: "Be careful and let no one know about this." Sure. But as soon as they went away, they spread the news about him through the whole area. As they were going away, some people brought to Jesus a man who was dumb because he was possessed by a demon. When the demon was driven out, the man who had been dumb spoke. The crowds were astonished and said, "Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel." But the Pharisees said, "It It is through the power of the head demon that he drives out demons. Jesus went around all the towns and the villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and he cured every sickness and every disease. When he saw the crowds, he was moved with pity, for they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is abundant, but the workers are few. Ask the master of the harvest, therefore, to send workers to gather his harvest."